who preferred to remain inconspicuous. Appearing in public with Jacqueline was guaranteed to make anyone the cynosure of all eyes. This was one of the most flamboyant outfits he had seen her wear, which was saying a good deal. The cloak that swathed her from her neck to ankles was a bewildering swirl of iridescent sea colors, green and blue, pale lavender and ice gray, overlaid with feathers, sequins, embroidery, and other unidentifiable substances. And the hat. Since she hit the Times bestseller list, Jacqueline had gone mad about hats. This one was purple. The 8-inch brim was weighted down by lavender and turquoise plumes, almost hiding the dark glasses that covered the upper third of Jacqueline's face. She wore matching purple gloves and a jangle of gold bracelets. Further extravagances were concealed by the hat and the cloak. In the cheerful, calculated country charm of the garden room, she looked as alien as a... Chris couldn't think of an appropriate comparison. He was a literary agent, not a writer. Between the dark glasses and the hat, Jacqueline's vision was obviously not at its best, but she made it to the table with only a few stumbles and was helped into her chair by the maitre d', on whose face fascination warred with consternation. He retreated. Jacqueline peered out from under the brim of the hat. An enchanting smile curved her wide mouth. "Darling." "Cut it out." Chris resumed his seat. He had been about to give her the chaste peck that is conventional in the media professions, including publishing, but the possibility of becoming entangled in the cloak, not to mention the hat, had discouraged the idea. "I hate it when you go into one of your acts," he said grumpily. "Who are you today? Jackie Kennedy? Jackie Collins? Michael Jackson?" "You cut me to the quick." Jacqueline pressed a purple hand to her heaving bosom. "You know I have my own unmistakable style and excellent reasons for behaving as I do." With a graceful shrug, she divested herself of the cloak. It fell in rainbow confusion over the back of her chair and spread itself across several square feet of rose-covered carpeting before she scooped it in and tucked it under the table. Her dress was comparatively restrained, royal purple silk crepe draped to display her admirable torso, which was embellished with a collection of gold chains as extensive as the dowry of a wealthy Ubangi maiden. Sunlight pouring through the glass roof and walls glittered blindingly off the display. Chris averted his eyes. "I know you told me. The only way I can keep my sanity in this business is to make fun of it, or at least its more preposterous aspects, and of myself. But that's not the only reason. You enjoy this." "Of course I do." Jacqueline gave the hat a deft quarter turn, exposing her face. It was a countenance that looked austere, even forbidding in repose. The chin was delicately rounded but protuberant. The wide, flexible mouth could smile as enigmatically as an archaic Greek goddess, or tighten into merciless rigidity. Most of her hair was still hidden by the hat, but Chris had had occasion to observe and admire its bronze-brown luxuriance. He had no idea whether the color was original. She was smiling enigmatically now, and her green eyes shone like emeralds, a sure sign of amusement, at herself or someone else. "But I must defend myself from those importunate fans of mine. Being a celebrity is so exhausting." They had had the same conversation several times before. Chris couldn't imagine why he was bothering to repeat himself. "It's your own fault. If you hadn't made such a spectacle of yourself on the Today Show and said those outrageous things in the People interview and—" "You were the one who insisted I do all those interviews," Jacqueline interrupted. "It's part of the job," Chris mumbled. "What?" Jacqueline leaned forward. "I can't hear you." "I can hear you, and so can everybody else in the room. I said, as I have said 100 times, that publicity is part of the job. You know that, and the, panache with which you perform would lead one to suspect that you love doing it. So don't give me that martyred look." "But it shouldn't be part of the job. Nathaniel Hawthorne wasn't pursued by fanatical fans. Emerson never made the talk show circuit. Louisa May Alcott." This was a new variant on an old theme, and Chris was carried away by the joy of debate. Twain and Dickens did the lecture circuits, and Alcott was besieged by her fans.